Yep.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're here negotiating with the Teamsters once again. I'm Sam Carlson. I'm Teton County Commissioner. And if we just go around the table and introduce yourselves.
I'm Mike Mann. I'm with Teamsters Local 2.
Jared Hatch, shop steward.
Joe Coble, County Attorney.
Joe Dowell, Commissioner.
Thank you. Joe?
Okay, Mike, what do you got?
Okay, so I think, did you guys get the email on the longevity proposal that we had? I think there was just, we had some misunderstanding last go round with the retro pay. I was under the assumption, I guess, and you know how assumptions are,
Right.
that we would start, the guys that had the 5-year and the 10-year would get those increases this time. Because, you know, if we did it just after the fact, you know, it really doesn't benefit our members that do have the longevity, and there aren't many of them. I think we have 3 that are at the 5-year and just 1 that's at past the 10-year mark.
Right.
Okay, well, as we've told you guys, our budgets had to be in, so they've been done. And there was a slight increase in our budget, but that increase was not even enough to cover the pay raises that we've put out at the $1.62 or whatever it is. And I appreciate, Jared, what you're saying about inflation and cost of living, but you need to understand that we're in the same boat. So we're buying fuel, we're buying tires. I don't know what we're gonna do about equipment. These guys just went to a Mako convention and talked to other commissioners who have had to get equipment, and I don't know what we're gonna do, because it has just gone up so much. I think where we're at is what we've offered you guys, the $1.62 or 68, no, 62. I'd like you guys to take into consideration that you're already getting longevity on top of that. So for a 5-year guy, that $1.62 is $2.10, $2.12. And we don't feel like we can do longevity on top of longevity. I mean, we have one, and I don't know how long it's been, but we agreed on your contract to increase that longevity from a nickel to a dime fairly recently.
It was the first year Jim Hodgkiss was here.
So I feel like what we're offering you in the contract is fair. I feel like our working with you has been more than fair. The road, and rightfully so, gets benefits that other employees just don't get. I mean, the only longevity employees we have in this county other than road and bridge is the sheriff's department, and that's because by statute we have to. There's no other employee or elected official or department head that gets longevity raises of any kind. And the other thing that I think you guys should take into consideration is your schedule. Unlike every other employee in the county, you guys have 3-day weekends except for when you have 4-day weekends. Nobody else has that. So we want to treat you fairly, but we have to treat every employee fairly. We have to go back to all of our other employees and say, these guys are getting this much more than you because of what? And I posed that question to you before, and I want you to help us out. If we went that way with you guys, then what do we say to the guy down in the clerk and recorder's office who says, I don't get any of that. I don't get anything like that. So we have a responsibility to everybody, not just you guys.
Yeah, and I think, you know, with longevity and experience, you know, I think that's where those increases are warranted. You know, if you get a guy that's been running that blade for 10 years, you're going to have a lot less tore up equipment, you know, and even 5 years. you know, once they get that time under their belt, they're not tearing equipment up, so it can last longer. And, you know, from what I've seen anyway.
And I appreciate that, but your guys are already getting longevity. You want more longevity on top of longevity that you're already getting. When you open negotiations, you wanted a 1% in addition to what you already get. So we're recognizing your experience, we're recognizing your seniority. That's already in the contract. We're already doing that. So that's what our perspective is. Go ahead,
So
sir.
state employees get, when I was there, this is quite a while ago.
Sure.
They get 25 cents longevity.
Every year.
Yeah, at the Park Service, we got 50 cents longevity.
So here's something that I don't know whether you know, and I'm not trying to be pedantic either. But our ability to raise taxes, raise mills is capped. There's only so much that we can raise, and we raised what we could this year. And like I said, that didn't even cover. State is not.
No.
And we currently have that very thing going on. The state is levying 95 mills on taxpayers because they're not stuck with the same caps that we are. So I appreciate what you're saying there, Jared, but you know, we gotta pay the bills.
Yeah.
And we have a limited ability to pay them. If we could levy more taxes, I suppose that's a possibility, but we have a responsibility to our taxpayers. And
Yeah.
that is to be as efficient as possible, and again, keep in mind that we're paying more for fuel this year, we're paying more for tires this year, we're really scratching our head on what we're gonna do about equipment this time, and we think that we put you guys in some pretty good equipment. Maybe you feel differently. I mean, I don't know, I don't run this stuff, but I know what it costs us.
It's either really nice or not. But,
Okay.
you know, the things that we need to be nice, like the graders are nice.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm telling you that we feel like we treat you guys fairly, and we feel like we do what we can, but we've got a responsibility to our taxpayers, and we've got a responsibility to all of our other employees too.
You know, and that's why we didn't say, oh, all the way down the board, let's do that. You know, we kind of try to pick some milestones, you know, like 5-year and the 10-year, and then, you know, leave the rest the way it was. You know, just to try to incentivize people to stick around.
And I really do appreciate the thought behind it. Our thought is we're already incentivizing that, giving you longevity. When you hit 5 years, you're getting paid 50 cents more than the new guy. When you hit 10
got
years,
a
you're
lot
getting
of
paid $1 more.
turnaround.
Yeah, I know.
People start, we get them trained, and they leave.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And that's not efficient either.
Yeah, we have the same problem with our sheriff's deputies. Same thing. But when you have this much money and you gotta fill, I mean, our only other option is to cut positions. I'm assuming you don't want that. I'm assuming you don't wanna go up and tell the guy with the least seniority that he's out of a job. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And we don't wanna cut services either. But when you've only got so much money, your choices are stay within your budget or cut positions or cut services. That's where we're at.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I do appreciate the meeting and the dialogue. I appreciate that.
Good. Yeah, I mean, we're not refusing to talk about it. We're not refusing to negotiate, but I'm trying to understand where your position is. I hope you guys can understand what ours is.
Yeah.
Can I just ask for clarification?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we left off last time, we had agreed on the 162 per hour, the 38 cents for the health insurance, and we were going to award a new longevity payment at 5 years and at 10 years. And at 5 years, it was going to be 15 cents?
15 at 5 and 20 at 10.
20 at 10.
Yeah.
And the idea was that that would be adopted, be ratified by you guys in the contract, and then as the next person in the road department to reach 5 years, I think this was the county's perspective, would get the
That extra.
15
yeah.
cents, and the next one to reach 10 years would get that. But the people that were between 5
And past 10.
and
yeah.
past 10 wouldn't get that.
Correct.
That's what's in their mind. I know you guys were interpreting that differently, that it would be retroactive and apply to
Yes.
all the guys that are at 5 now, or at or beyond 5,
Mhm.
and then at or beyond 10. So is that additional longevity, Joe, still on the table? That 15?
From the last meeting.
From the last meeting? I just want to be clear.
So-
Or are you rolling it all the way back to just the 10 cents and we're not talking about longevity?
I think what we talked about and understood, and clearly we weren't understanding each other, but I think what we had thought you were saying to us is, okay, that extra nickel at 5 years, that would be like a one-time thing, like a bonus, here's your nickel's worth for the year. Same thing at the 10 years, okay, here's your 20 cents one-time thing, like a bonus. And we later discovered that that is not how you guys looked at it at all.
So, Joe, are you saying that you thought they would only get the nickel increase for that 5-year anniversary, and then when they turned to 6 years, it would drop back? You were
Back to the
back to the
time
10.
it had been.
Right, but you wouldn't take the 10 would be added to the new hourly wage that had the 15 in it.
Yeah, no, that's not what we thought was happening. We thought it was like a one-time thing, and then instead of the guy at 5 years being at 65 cents, as is proposed, he would be at 50 cents, back to the dime that's in our original contract.
Okay, still not understanding, so let me
Yeah, I know.
let me try this way. Sorry, I'll just make it really simple. Let's say the guy at 5 years is making $1 an hour. He gets the 15-cent raise. He's now making $1.15.
Right,
The anniversary of his 6th year, he's making $1.15 plus the 10 that's the regular longevity.
that's what's
Then-
being proposed right now.
Then he's making, right, but you didn't take away the 15 and rolling back to 1.
No.
No.
Right, so it would build consecutively. Okay.
Just like it does
But
now.
then from, what you're saying is from year 6 up to year 10, it's 10 cents every year. And
Yes.
what you guys were envisioning was 15 cents every year? up
No,
to 10?
no.
No, you guys were, okay, yes,
We-
we're all
yeah.
on, okay, I got you now. So
Yeah.
you guys were also thinking 15 cents.
That it would go back to 10, and then when you get to your 10-year mark,
You'd get
then.
the 20-cent
Yeah.
bump, and then
and then
11, you'd get 10 again.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and so what you're really about today, right now, is whether that 15 cent and 20 cent is retroactive to the people who are.
Have reached those milestones
who are the
already.
5+
Yes.
year people.
Yes.
Okay, just, sorry, dense here, just wanted to
No,
make sure
it's,
I clearly understood the
it is
different
confusing.
positions.
Clearly, none of us understood
No.
where we were at. That's why I was emailing with you yesterday about what does it really mean?
Yeah. And that's, kind of the gist that I got, is we didn't really clarify it
Yeah.
well enough, and nobody really knew what we were talking
No,
about. Yeah.
nobody knew what was
We
being
thought we were on
agreed to.
one page, but we were each on our own page.
Right.
Alrighty.
So I think that's where we're at.
Okay.
I guess you can let us know.
I will let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah.
thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
See you guys.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, everyone. Joel and Joe, thanks.
I didn't take any minutes, but we're recorded. Paula can look at it, can she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Mel.
All right, I'm gonna end live video.
So I kind of